don't know where to begin. I don't know how many understood English or Hindi, and how many wish to understand. Somebody said, why would anybody, especially the Hindi version, when you're from the West, want to know? I said, because this problem does not simply exist in India, within India, but I feel it exists all over the world. I began traveling in August 1978. I've been to 25 countries around the world. And in my earlier days of travel, what I loved as a young man was to see the country, to hear languages, to see the characteristics of each country, of each person. We have today people from the US, from Australia, from Switzerland, from Germany, maybe others, India of course, and Portugal maybe. So we all know, we've all lived those times that I'm talking about. Today, it's all become one. But one not in the right way, but one in the wrong way. Been traveling to Germany since 1983, and I would go to a small town named Bielefeld, which is not known to many people. It's in North Rhine-Westphalia. And in those years, police used to be parked in vans, armed, because young men were trying to imitate possibly Nazism or whatever the word was in those days, I don't know. But it was strange to be in a peaceful shopping area, walking, because it was cobblestones, no cars, no vehicles, but to know that the police sat there just in case of something. Recently we were in Mexico City, and there police stood on top of vehicles, armored and gunned. And all I said to the people in the vehicle with me, it needs one wacko policeman. I'm not talking about people on the streets. One wacko policeman to lose it and start a gunfire. You can just imagine what I'm saying, and I'm not just making any of this up. And it is scary. It is scary every time I go through security of any airport anywhere in the world. And I keep saying, I feel like a terrorist when I go through. I'm dressed in these clothes, which would mean that I'm not a terrorist because I'm too obvious to be noticed with my bindi, with my chandan or bhasma, with my beads, and orange is worn on the highway. I remember in JFK, I don't know what year it was, probably early on, they said we need to take you aside, because those days I traveled with my puja items. Puja items meant silver, some brass, Shree yantra, my pali pela, English Masukis, my water thing with spoon, etc., and so on. And they said we need to check, so I said sure, because I knew that even if I said no, they're going to do it anyway. So they did all that, and then they took me into a small curtained room, and they said, I will check you and he'll witness. And so he slowly started moving my lungi up. So I said, don't need to do that, I can just open it up for you. I said, you don't need to move it up slowly, I can just open it up for you. He said, no, don't, meaning don't you attempt to, because he thought maybe I have something inside my lungi. And so he really very slowly moved my lungi up to my knees. I said, you know what, I can just open the whole thing up. I can undress. I said, I'm okay. I'm a monk. I'm a Hindu sadhu. Naked is nothing big deal for us. He said, no, don't. He said, I have a witness. So I said, okay. So I just quietly stood there. And over the years, this has happened. In Florida, an Indian man was doing this to me. I said to him in Hindi, why are you doing this? He said, it's my job. I said, I know it's your job. I said, why am I picked out of other people? I said, it's too obvious. I am not what you think I am, a terrorist. He said, what can I do? It's my job. And then, of course, for those of you who travel, you know there is something called random checks. How is it random? I don't know. And then they also do bomb check, I think it's called. I don't know what it is, but they take a little thing and scrape it against your things and then put it on the machine. And they say, okay, you have no explosives, you can go. We all accept this for the sake of peace. But what is scary, as most of you would know, is that people who do this get away with it. People who do this get away with it. Just like I just got these two videos in the last week, I think. And while Gauri this morning said, I wonder if it was fine to show my son, who's 10 years old, I think. I said, well, it begins very young. It begins more young than we can even imagine. I was surprised when I found out that a movie was made in the United States about human trafficking, and not about human trafficking in the world, but in the United States. And so, of course, when I say this, people say, but it happens all over the world. I said, I understand it happens all over the world. I don't deny that. But what I am surprised is a country like the United States, which we all think is a wonderful place to be. At least I did, and I think. This happens. People are supposedly educated. People go there, as you see with this boy, to an Ivy League college. Indian parents spend, I don't know how many lakhs or millions of rupees. We have Vivek Desai here from the Princeton University. Parents mortgage whatever they have to send their child. Everybody please listen to me. Bache suno. Even if you don't fully understand, don't worry about everybody else and what's going on. Because this needs to be understood. I brought it up in Satsang today only because it came to me, and I thought tomorrow we celebrate India's Republic Day, the day the Constitution was made. A day the Constitution was made, which meant that freedom was to be granted to every single individual of the country. Freedom was to be granted to every single individual of the country. Yet, for those of us who live in freedom, we do not appreciate it and we take it for granted. We do not realize those people who went through whatever they went through for us to experience the freedom that we experience today. Unfortunately, I found out today, which I found out some years ago, that we have within this ashram something wrong happening. People driving vehicles without licenses. It is a crime. First of all, have a license. Renew the license. Have a document, whatever it is, and make sure it's up to date. That becomes your responsibility. People often tell me the Prime Minister, whoever it is, will do it. I said the Prime Minister can only create a system. We must follow the system. Within this ashram of 27 years old, I know how difficult it is. I'll tell all of you who sit on chairs, you move the chair from a table because you want to sit together, but then you must also put the chair back where you got it from. You must put the chair back where you got it from, because you are breaking or disturbing the system. And the chairs are placed in a certain way so that serving takes place easily. When you put two chairs across from each other, the child cannot tell you, I can tell you, that you are disturbed. Just because there's one person sitting at a different table, it's okay. You don't need to have them come to you with a chair in front of you. It disturbs the serving. I hope you understand this. Sabko keh raha hu main. He's not raising his head because he is in charge of serving, because he understands the problem he faces. And then we have elders who say, I don't get served. Well, the child is taking revenge upon you, unknown to himself or you. Sometimes you have to be patient to get your turn. If he's going that way, he will go that way and then come to you when your turn comes. Don't raise your hand in the middle and say, I am missed out. You're not missed out, he's just coming. These are things that I mean, it's just, when we came on the airplane on Wednesday there and back, we had a wonderful lady, stewardess, who smiled, whose whole body attitude was just beautiful. I wanted to thank her at the end of the flight, but unfortunately she was in the back and we were in the middle and we left. And I thought to tell the main stewardess that Vandana was excellent, but then I didn't know if the main stewardess would feel jealous, which is true. We still have a Bernal packet here. Eh? This is a cream we use in India called Bernal. The young people don't know this, but I don't know in the West if you have this. When you burn yourself, you put this on. And Anuj said something else. He remembered some other cream. I said, no, this is Bernal. And I've kept it. I actually have two tubes. One I think is gone somewhere. This is for when you burn in the heart. In my case, what I'm sharing is, this is not a physical burn, this is a burn. देवेश आगे बैठो, सदैव आगे बैठो, मुझे दिखने चाहिए तुम लोग, पीछे बैठोगे क्या कर रहे हो नहीं पता चले. हाँ देवेश, याद है ना आपको? This was when I praised some people during our celebrations here. And I knew that some people would ask, why am I not being praised, or why is this one or that one not being praised? And I said, because you might think you are excellent, but the system is bothered by you. You might think I work hard, but the system doesn't agree with your hard work, because your hard work causes problems. I want everybody to understand this. Your hard work causes problems. So there is no jealousy that will fix that. These are elders that I'm talking to now, who feel, I am doing the best I can, I am sincere, I am hardworking. Yet your sincerity is not sincere to the system, to the ashram. This judge, who I'm sure, I don't know if she lost her job or not, because the senator needed Bernal. If he was a good senator, he would understand that the judge did the right thing. So when you work with the system, with the rules, with the regulations, I know many of us get disheartened. I get disheartened. Lalita was praising the children yesterday. Bahut acha, excellent. But I said to her, go to the hostel, go to the Vidyalaya, you will find out the truth. Because for a moment I can be very nice. A moment I can be a perfect person. But I have to be a perfect person 24 hours a day. 365 days of the year, from the time I can until my death. And I say from the time I can, because it takes time to get some awakening in the mind. And sometimes that awakening happens at 60, 70 years. You might think I'm bluffing, but I am not. I've been doing this work since the year 1982. This is when Baba Muktananda left his body. So since October 1982. And I tell people what happened to my life in 1985 awakened me. Kursi udhar Devansh le ja, koi mata ji aa rahi. What happened to my kursi leke jao? What happened to my, idhar se lena? What happened to my life in 1985 awakened me. Took me 10 years, 15 years. And therefore I can speak and say and do what I am saying and doing. Kursi aa rahi hai bolna unko. So it takes time. I'm telling him, take a chair. And he's looking where? Just take a chair. Instruction has, you have to listen. Kursi aa rahi hai. Piche se aa gayi. Listen to the instruction. Nirdesh ko suno. Bas. उनके आगे कैसे रखेगा तो? उनके बगल में रखना, उनको दिखना चाहिए. उनको दिखना चाहिए. उनको दिखना चाहिए. हाँ, अभी बेटा. This is the last thing we do, listen to the instruction. Because why should I listen to the instruction? He is high capability, Mr. Devansh. On his name tag he has written, I am high capability. But yet he gets angry at me when I challenge his high capability. And then he tells me 24, 36 hours that I was not angry at you. I said, you were angry for 36 hours. Your face tells me. Your eyes tell me. You're not smiling tells me. I've been through all this in life. I am 63 today, so I understand all this. I'm not just saying these things to you. I've come to a place now where I'm learning Sakshi Cheto Kevala Nirgunascha, as the Upanishad tells. That become a witness, because the self is formless. But yet, the human is there. He reacts to these videos. He acts to these videos. He wonders how and when will majority of the world wake up. Because my conclusion is 2 to 5% of the people control the world. 2 to 5% of the people, like Praveen there in the Hindi video, Dr. Praveen, and the judge, a small percentage of people try to wake, and then the first 5% try to get rid of them, like they tried with me in 85, 86. Still trying. But there is a greater hand that says, okay, no, you continue, you do what you need to do. And then the 90% says, why bother? When we pick up trash, our own people, Raki was picking up trash way back in, I think, Ganeshpuri, 2005, maybe, I don't know the year. But one of our own people said, Raki, how long will you pick up trash? And so, what in one of those videos they said, I think it was a judge, she said, mindset, monster, character. Mindset, monster, character. Children understand, hopefully you understand. What is your mindset? When did you become a monster? When will you change that character? Here in the year, I think 2007 or 8, we got this land in 1999, and the trees had not been taken care of for a long time, maybe 15, 20, 30 years, I don't know. The person who took over the farm, he decided that it needed chemical spray to revive. So we were spraying. In the year 2007 or 8, we had an elderly gentleman called Daulat Kaka or Daulat Bhai Desai. One day, he said, I'll go away for 3 days and come back. And because he lived here, he was our purchase manager. I said to him, why will you go for 3 days and come back? He said, because when they spray, it affects me, my asthma. I think that's what he had. So he said, I can't breathe. So I said to him, Kaka, this happens every time they spray? He said, yes. He said, every time I go to my daughter's house in Valsad and stay there for 3 days, sometimes 5. So I met Anil Bhai Mehta, who was a farm person, and I said, no more spraying. And he said, okay. He was good. He didn't argue with me. He said, we will change. We'll change to organic. He said, just know it won't be effective like the chemical. And at that time, we got introduced to Vanya Kallan from Western Australia, who was doing biodynamics, biodynamic farming. She came, she and Anil Bhai met, and both of them had principles, farming that they believed in, they agreed upon. They both talked to trees, which to a normal person is like trees. There's a book by a forest manager, I think. They are called Trees Talking to Trees, I think is the book. One is by a German forester, and one is by a Canadian forester. I've shared that book with different people at times. So I think when a person can talk to a tree, a person first has to talk to himself or herself. So since the year 2007-8, whatever it is, we have not sprayed chemical pesticides in this ashram. Sometime later, somebody approached who was very smart. He said, you spray so much of the ashram with organic and spray so much of the ashram with chemicals. So you understand the difference. And Swami Komalananda invited me to meet this man. And she said, he has a very good plan. I said, spraying chemicals is not my plan. She said, but listen to him. I said, why would I want to listen to him when it's not in my plan? She said, because he wants to explain it to. I said, I don't want to be explained to. I am aware of what chemicals have done, chemicals can do. She said, I send him away. I said, yes. Tell him Swamiji does not want your plan. It takes a lot of guts and courage, boys, men, women, to say this. Because he was a nice person from our local town. That means he may never come back to Shanti Mandir. He never want to see Swami Nityananda. He never want to associate with us because I don't want to listen to his plan. Same thing happened yesterday or day before, I think Friday, Basant Panchami. An elderly gentleman was giving out orange candy. Goli aate na, gol gol. I don't know the brand, I didn't see what the brand was. And I was walking away. He said, Swamiji, come take. I said, no, thanks. He said, then take and give to the children. And there was a lot of people there. A lot of devotees of Bhagavan Nityananda. I said, I don't eat and I don't share or give what I don't eat. He was taken by shock. He said, no, for the children. As Swamiji was doing that on Wednesday at the program, calling up young children, he had a bunch of Cadbury chocolate from the stage, throwing to the children. And I'm so sad and sorry to say, while he might do this to win points from the children or from the parents or from the people, I think it was inappropriate. A stage with 50 to 100, 200 people, a crowd of maybe 500 to 1,000, and just because you want to win some brownie points, from who? Somebody like me? No. You get negative brownie points. I lose respect for you. I eat chocolate, I don't deny. But I'm not going to do the wrong thing from a stage, say the wrong thing from a stage, do the wrong thing from a stage, just because somebody will say, oh, so sweet is Swamiji giving chocolate to little babies. That's words that I cannot say here. Bluff, okay, that's better. Yeah? For what? For who? There are so many things as I travel the world that I feel I wish I could say. But I was just saying that today, and I say this often. Here within the ashram, sometimes I want to say something to somebody. I can't, I have to hold myself. Because as soon as I say it, then you do it. That's the typical response. I will not do it. You don't like how I do it, then you do it. I do many things, which people don't see, don't know. I do it quietly. Of course, when I'm doing this, hey, why are you doing? Let me do it. And there's so much else you can do. Why do you want to do the one thing I am doing? At Bhagwan's shrine in that area, for 2 years a LED bulb is flickering. I've told the electrician, I've told the trustee, I said, you know, this bulb is flickering. The bell was cracked, the main bell. When we went in December, I told them. I went back now, a month and a half later in January, the bell was still cracked. It took me a day to realize, oh, I should just organize a bell. So I organized it, it came. Then I had to make sure it got hung, because otherwise the rigidity of the system, the person could just take the bell and sell it. And Bhagwan's temple would still have a broken bell. And I hope that when I go back in March, the new bell is hung there and the old bell, which I tried to get, she said, I will take care of it. I know she will not. I told the trustee he's supposed to deliver it today to Bhaskar, and I will check on it later in the day. And if it doesn't, I can't do anything, because there is a whole system that works against this Swami Nityananda. There's a whole village, a whole group of people who work to make sure. Why is Shanti Mandir doing so well? Why are people liking Shanti Mandir? So I gave a simple answer. We're just trying to upgrade society. Here in Magod, there in Nimbavali, wherever what is possible, we pray every day, Durjanaha Sajjano Bhuya. May the wicked-minded become noble. And whatever is possible, and I request this to all of you sitting here, If it's possible for you, do it. You will have setbacks. We have setbacks. This 250, I told Anuj yesterday coming in the car, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 years they live with us, those who choose to. Some leave after 10th. Some will, many of them who are 38 of them in 12th this year, I don't know how many of them will stay. I will only know in July when they have not gotten admission anywhere else. They'll say, Guruji, I'm coming back. That's because I've not gotten anything anywhere else. If they had the guts and courage today, I dare them to tell the Acharya, today, not tomorrow, that I give up all other choices and choose to stay here. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of courage. And again, I say this from experience. I share with people my life on 24th April 1978. For those of you who know my story, I had requested Baba in 74, 75 to join him. He said, no, boys should live their own life. So I planned my own life because I loved technical things. I still love technical things. So I was on the road to mechanical engineering. And I had a meeting with Baba Muktananda one-on-one in March 1977 when I finished my 10th standard. 24th April 1978, I came to drop my sister then, Malti, to Gurudev Siddhapeeth, because Malti Nivas was registered on that particular day in Mumbai on her name. Dropped her and she said, come have his darshan. I said, no, I had his darshan in the morning. I don't need his darshan again because I'm happy. I always tell people this who want to pranam again, pranam again, pranam again. I said, too much pranaming is of no use. It's not going to get anywhere because this, unless your mindset changes. She insisted, no, you're going for your IIT entrance exam. Come get his blessings. She being elder, 7 years to me, I said, okay. And I thought, he's sitting in his room, listening to the Shiva Mahimna. It's quiet, it's dark. I'll slip in and slip out. That was my plan. So to that, I'll say, I slipped in. That's it. I still have my T-square. For those of you who know what that is. Still have my drawing board. Somewhere I still have my compass. I think Chideshwari has it probably now. I still have tool sets. I have hex nuts. I have, doesn't come to me immediately. So anyway, I have given the ashram here many tool sets. Of course, we have parts missing because somebody likes a part, he puts it in his pocket and bye-bye. Without realizing that that tool set is incomplete without that particular part. But as they say, mere baap ka kya jata hai? What goes of my father, if you are missing a tool. So anyway, I tell people that's the kind, when we speak about Shraddha, when you speak about surrender, when you speak, Baba simply that day said to me, what is the use of becoming an engineer? You will be useless to me. So, hopefully you understood both videos. One is what is happening to our society, to our world. And I think many of us are aware of this. Many of us know this. But many of us feel, what can I do? But I say this as an example many times. Spend a night, not by choice, with a mosquito in your bedroom. You can spray, you can have a racket. That mosquito finds a way to come to your ear when you have laid down. And he makes hell for you the whole night. And you can do as much as you want. You can play tennis as much as you want with that mosquito racket. You can put Odomos, which is the cream here. You can put Kachua chap, the tortoise brand, coil, all of these things that are supposed to drive away the mosquito. But that mosquito is resilient. He makes sure that every time you turn the light off, you go lie down, you come bzz, bzz. So I say, if a little mosquito that probably doesn't have a vertebra, I think, correct? Gutless, whatever, spineless, not gutless, spineless. Mosquito makes your one night, some people come, I didn't sleep a wink last night, and say, why? I was a mosquito. And the children here said, I didn't sleep a wink last night because the mouse was chewing my toe. Or biting my toe. Correct? So when these little things can disturb, then we are 5 feet, 6 feet, 50 pounds, 50 kilos, 75 kilos, 80 kilos, 100 kilos or more. Imagine what is possible for us to do. We just choose not to because that's easy. Nahi karna आसान है. To not do is easy. Because as one man said to Jawahar Bhai, if I do, they will know that I am capable. They will make me do it more. They will make me do it again. So let them think I am dumb. I'll remain dumb. समझ रहे ना आप लोग? छात्र बंद. गुरुजी को मालूम पड़ेगा, इसको बुद्धि है, इसको समझ आती है, पढ़ सकता है, तो गुरुजी पढ़ाते रहेंगे. कितने होंगे जो पढ़ना चाहते हैं, जिनके पास वो संभावना नहीं है कि वो पढ़ सकते. Baba Muktananda, in the last tour that I traveled with him from 1978 to 81, when we traveled the world, he would often say, in the West and in India, that India will throw out this culture. बंद करवा दो यार. साइन लगा हुआ है भैया बाहर. संडे को दिखाया करो साइन. ये एक आदत डालनी चाहिए हमें. सत्संग में, मंदिर में, जब भी हम जाए फोन साइलेंट रखो. कल मैं डेंटिस्ट के पास गया, वहाँ भी लिखा हुआ था फोन साइलेंट करो. इतनी भी हमें शर्म नहीं आती है बाहर. एक तो हमारा रिंगर, ये तो फिर भी ठीक था. कभी कभी तो रिंगर ही इतना भयानक है. क्यों इतना भयानक है भगवान जाने. अच्छे रिंगर हमारे पास आओ, हम अनुज जी का श्री राम जय राम डाल देंगे. ये तो मेरे पास है सच्चिदानंद गुरु, अम्बा भवानी है, जय जय विट्ठल. अभिषेक को पास जाओ, आप सबका रिंगर, आपका पसंद का कीर्तन डलवा देंगे. चलो, पसंद का स्तोत्र डलवा देंगे. कैसे डालना है? अभिषेक त्रिपाठी के पास जाना है. खड़े हो जाओ जरा. ये है अभिषेक त्रिपाठी. क्योंकि ये पास न पूछा जाता, मेरे को तो आता ही नहीं कुछ भी. मैं तो बुद्ध हूँ. अरे सारे फोन तो वापरते हो, प्लेन में जाते हो, ट्रेन में जाते हो, गाड़ी चलाते हो. फिर जब बोलता हूँ तब मूर्ख और गधे क्यों बनते हो? हाँ, हंसो. सच में तुम लोग भी ऐसे ही हो. समझने वाले को इशारा काफी होता है, समझ जाता है. और जो ना समझना चाहता है उसको आप समझाते रहो. आप थक जाओगे, वो थकेगा नहीं. So Baba Muktananda said, there will be a time, which it has come and is happening, it was already happening possibly in this time, where we here in India decided that our culture is too, as you heard, patriarchal, orthodox, and so on and so forth, and we decided, no, I am going to be modern. And so modern means many things. And then the Western society decided that no, we need something else. This is not working. Tanti abhi, Swamiji, tanti. This is not working. Khidki se le lo da Mohit, Harshit. So this is not working, so they decide we want to do Anushthan, we want to do Agnihotri, not even understanding what Agnihotri is. Agnihotri is where there's a husband and there's a wife. The wife is the carrier of the fire. The wife does not go anywhere without the fire. They leave after sunrise, they arrive before sunset. Sunrise they do the havan, sunset they do the havan. And it is always Nar Narayan, Shiva Shakti, male, female, however you want to see or say it. There's always two that come together and perform this. Today the world thinks Agnihotri just means morning mantra, evening mantra, it's Agnihotri. No, it's not. There's a whole system in place for everything. You cannot go to the pharmacy and say, I want this particular medicine. He says, no, go to a doctor and get a prescription. He says, no, I don't want a doctor, I don't need a doctor, I know what works for me. सुनो मुझे, सुनो यार. अंग्रेजी नहीं आती तो भी दिमाग लगाओ थोड़ा सुनो. गधे है नहीं तो गधे ही रह जाओगे. मैं कोई बुद्धू नहीं हूँ, समझते हो ना तुम लोग. कई बार तुम लोगों को बोलता हूँ. मैं देख रहा हूँ, हंस रहे हो. उसने बोला ना टीवी में जज ने, जो पीछे बैठ के हंस रहे हो ना, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ उस पर. मैं इतना कोई बुद्धू नहीं हूँ. बैठे हैं यहाँ समझदार लोग. अंग्रेजी उनके लिए सुना रहा हूँ. आप लोग को भी तो अंग्रेजी पढ़ते हो, नहीं पढ़ना चाहते हो तो मैं क्या करूँ. गणित नहीं पढ़ना चाहते हो, बाप उधर बोलता है बेटा मेरा फेल हो गया. बेटा फेल क्यों हो ये तो बोलो ना. या तो हमारा टीचर खराब है तो बोलो हम टीचर बदलते हैं. लेकिन टीचर की तो हम परीक्षा लेते हैं. हमारे पास उमेश अंकल है जो गणित के 50-60 साल से प्रोफेसर है, PhD है. सीखना नहीं चाहते हो, सुनना नहीं चाहते हो, समझना. यही तो समस्या है हमारे देश की जो मैं आप सबके सामने रख रहा हूं. जैसी मूर्खता चल रही है उस मूर्खता को हमको चलाना है. जैसी मूर्खता चल रही है ना उस मूर्खता को हमको हम बाहर जाते हैं. कौन अभी मिला मुझे, रवीश मदान, सिंगापुर जाके आए. बोले क्या देश है. हमारा देश कोई खराब नहीं है, हम ही खराब कर देना. उस देश को एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने बनाया. उस प्राइम मिनिस्टर की आप टॉक सुनो, उसके प्राइम मिनिस्टर के विचारों को सुनो. वो नहीं है अभी. उसको हराने के लिए भी कितने लोग थे. आप लोग क्या बनना चाहते हो. वही कोई बड़ा कुछ समझाना चाह रहा है, आपको बताना चाह रहा है, सुनना ही नहीं चाहते हो. गांव से आए हो, गांव जैसा है, गांव जैसा ही रहना चाहते. बुद्धि बदलना है. केवल बंबई में रहोगे तो बंबईया नहीं बनोगे. यहां हो ना, बनो ना यहाँ के जैसा. बहुत सारी बातें मैंने क्या बोला आप समझे कि नहीं समझे. मैं कभी कभी बोलता हूँ मन रूठ जाता है. चाहे वो आचार्य हो, चाहे वो भक्त हो सकता है कि मुझे इसकी बिल्कुल आवश्यकता नहीं आज. न है मुझे ईर्ष्या. न मे देश अस्ति न प्रिया. अवधूत स्तोत्र में ना आप लोगों को बोलता हूं गाते 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 इसको आप लोग समझो. मैं भक्तों से भी कहता हूं चाहे प्रणाम करो, मैं प्रणाम करूं. अरे प्रणाम करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. यहां प्रणाम करो, आगे दिन भर प्रणाम करो. घालेन लोटांगन वंदीन चरण करो. 11 बार परिक्रमा कितने लोग लगाते. प्रवीण भाई को देखता हूं, विजय मोहन को देखता हूं, पारुल बहन को देखता हूं, रवि प्रताप जी वो 11 से ज़्यादा ही लगाते हैं. कि वो सोचते कि शाम को क्या करना, अंदर बैठ के बोर हो जाता हूँ तो जितनी देर तक तुम लोग बड़बड़ करते रहो मैं अपना चक्कर मारते रहता हूँ, अपने आप से बात करते हुए चलते हैं. अंजलि सुनती नहीं है तो क्या करे. तो अंजलि बोलती मेरा सुनो. ये सब अंदर की बातें. जैसे उसने बोला ना कुछ बातें छुपी हुई है लेकिन मैं सामने निकाल रहा हूँ. बचपन से इनको भी जानता हूँ, वो मुझे मेरे बचपन से मुझे जानते हैं. और मैं मानता हूँ कि जिसके साथ मेरा अच्छा संबंध है, मैं सत्संग में भी कभी कहता हूँ, मैं जो कहता हूँ आपको पसंद है इसके लिए तो आप आए हो. हमारे बड़ौदा से आए, इन लोग विदेश से आए हैं और इन लोग मुझे सुन रहे 1982-83 से. और 1979 के बाद 89 के बाद मैंने सोचा जो रटा हुआ, पहले मैं भी वैसे था आप लोग के जैसे बैठ जाता था. मतलब हमारा एक सिस्टम था जो बाबा जी ने किया था. पहले मंगलाचरण, आज नहीं किया मैंने क्योंकि वीडियो हो गया था. मैंने कहा मंगलाचरण, मंगलाचरण के बाद प्रेम सम्मान से हार्दिक स्वागत, फिर एक श्लोक का व्याख्यान विचार, बीच में उस श्लोक के लिए एक कथा समर्थन करने के लिए, फिर उस कथा को समर्थन करने के लिए एक श्लोक. मतलब ये सब हमको सिखाया गया था. कम से कम 3 श्लोक, 2 कथा, 1 भजन. बाबा जी के समय का। स्वामी इनको पता नहीं, इन लोगों को होता नहीं। हमको जब मैं अमेरिका में था, हम लोग को टीचर दिए जाते थे, अंग्रेजी होते थे उन लोग, कैसे बोलना, क्या बोलना। कल रविवार को, और आज रविवार है ना, कल कब हुआ वो? शुक्रवार को। मैं परसों से गड़बड़ाया हूँ। मैं शनिवार को सोच रहा था, सोमवार है, आज भी सोच रहा हूँ कौन सा वार है, तो रविवार है। तो हमारे लायंस वाले आए थे, मुझे बोला कि आप भी कुछ बोलो, तो मैंने कुछ हिंदी में बोला, फिर कुछ मराठी में बोला, फिर एक आंध्रा वाले जो गवर्नर रहे आए, बोले तुम अच्छा बोलते हो। मैंने कहा धन्यवाद, क्योंकि खुशी होती है ना, कोई पढ़ा लिखा, कोई एग्जीक्यूटिव कंपनी का रहा है, लायन का आदमी है, आके बोलता है स्वामी जी अच्छा बोलते हो। क्योंकि मैंने बहुत उस 89 में एक दिन पहले मैं भी ये सब लेकर के चलता था, तो किसी ने दिया है मुझे कि तुम बाबा जी से बनो। तो मैंने बहुत, जब बाबा जी ने समाधि ली ना, मैंने चिदविलासन जी को उस दिन ही समझा दिया, उन्होंने उन दिनों में समझा दिया, बाबा बाबा थे, हम स्वामी नित्यानंद है। अब मैं क्या हूँ वो मुझे समझना है, मुझे समय लगेगा, समय लगा। 1995 में मंडलेश्वर बना, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे निखर कर आया कि मैं कौन हूँ। तब तक मैं भी एक छत्र छाया में, आश्रय में, जैसे भी आप बोलो, काफ़ी समय 3-4 साल तक मैं भी ये लेके चला कि आशीर्वाद दो, इसमें शक्तिपात दो। परसों मुझे किसी ने बोला तुम शक्तिपात देते हो, मैं हंस गया। मन में आया कि उसको बोलो तो मुक्तानंद बाबा की विशेषता थी, क्योंकि वो जिनके साथ थे वो शक्तिपात देते। कि ये सब मैंने 89 में डिसाइड किया था, ये करते थे वो करते थे। अभी वो लंगोट पहन के कहाँ घूमे? उनके गुरु तो लंगोट में घूमते थे, उनके गुरु तो नंगे घूमते थे। इन्होंने भी कोशिश की, आप देखोगे साधना काल के इनके कुछ फोटो है लंगोट में। कुछ समय था कि छोटा सा ही कपड़ा पहनते थे कि फिर हमारे रवि प्रताप के पिताजी, चाचा जी, ताऊ जी, जो भी सब है, उन लोग जब इनको दिल्ली ले गए तो बोले कि आपको थोड़ा अच्छा कपड़ा पहनना पड़ेगा, ये लंगोट, ये छोटा कपड़ा। क्योंकि आप देखोगे ना, उनका पुराना फोटो में ऐसे दाढ़ी को घुमाया करते थे। अभी वो आप लोग साइकोलॉजी में क्या बोलोगे पता नहीं, हाँ ऐसा बैठते थे। मतलब बचपन में ये सब देखा है हमने, दाढ़ी भी बड़ी है उनकी, दाढ़ी घुमाया करते थे। छड़ी हुआ करता था, छड़ी रखा है मेरे पास अंदर, वो छड़ी को घुमाया करते थे। क्या इधर बैठा कमलेश अय्या, तो क्या क्या सब करते थे। लेकिन जब इन्होंने बोला कि तुम बन जाओ स्वामी मुक्तानंद, तो बोलते थे मैं राजा। फिर सोने के थाली में खाने लगे। कौन से साल में आया पता नहीं, 70-71 में। पेपर वाले ने लिख दिया सोन्याच्या ताटात जेवणारा परमहंस, तो उन्होंने काट के फ्रेम करके लगा दिया। कोई आता था, देखो पेपर में क्या लिखा है, खुद ही बताते थे। अभी भी होगा आश्रम में उनके, सोन्याच्या ताटात जेवणारा परमहंस। I'm telling the children, you have to find yourself. I said, it took me also a while. When you took samadhi, I told that I just want to be me. But it's difficult, when you live in a big organization that's used to a system, a man, a person, a way, a method. They say, no, this is how it has to be. I couldn't fit in, so I was thrown out. So, because I decided, no, I cannot be just imitating, and then our whole life I'll be imitating, and I'll never be able to imitate because I'm not a good imitator. I'm a good actor. Nartako Atma, Shiva Sutra says. So, if I'm imitating, like some of you might remember when Satyashil Deshpande, a singer, came here, Bhaskarji stood up because he was showing how other singers sing. Bhaskar stood up, Bhaskar Nilka, and said, can you show us how Bhimsen Joshi sang? He said, I am Satyashil Deshpande. I sing my way and I will sing my way. I'm not going to copy Bhimsen Joshi. But it takes a lot of guts, because we always want to imitate. We always want to copy. Somebody pranams, we pranam. Somebody doesn't pranam, we don't pranam. Somebody pranams this way, we pranam that way. Because I don't know how I want to pranam. Seriously, I'm not. When the Aarti Thali comes, it's the funniest. For some of you who come with me to Ganesh, I'm so embarrassed that you are with me or that I know you, because I act as if I don't know you. Because you do some things, Indians and Westerners, that I just think, why? It's like the Aarti Thali comes and the Pujari is not even, and it's like, dekhte hain na aap log sab? That's why we stopped it here. Because one, the child has to go through over the people, and so on and so forth. And it's just so funny. And the prasad. You get prasad there 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Dogs also wait outside because people want to give them. And for the information of all those who don't ever have pets, sweet is not good for the dog. Gluco biscuit is not good for the dog. Yet we give the dog halwa from Bhagwan because we think, oh, prasad, I'm going to share it. Idiot. Anyway, that's my thought. That's prasad for human consumption. Right, Sophie? She's a pet owner. So, it doesn't work. It gives them khujli, itching. It sheds, their hair sheds. Because it's not good for us either. And it's probably made with the worst oil, kya bolenge? Huh? Yeah. I cannot officially say that because officially it's supposed to be made in ghee. But the officer of the temple takes away. I thought actually 3 things I want to tell the Prime Minister, President, whoever is possible. The ghee used in puja is the worst ghee available because it's not even ghee. And it says on there, not for human consumption. We got this from a particular temple in Mumbai during COVID. 8 containers, 8 times 15 kilos, I think. And then when I saw that sign, then I said to with us here, we said we cannot offer this to Bhagwan anymore. So we lit what they call these big kasoras, earthen lamps, every day. And I said we'll light it outside because we cannot throw it away because it's been given to us. Somebody has donated it. So it must be lit. So we lit it outside around the ashram. I don't know how many months it lasted, but it lasted. So the ghee for puja is the worst ghee available. The kumkum is the worst kumkum. It itches because it's chemical. Rose water, of course, is horrible. And there was one more thing. Ghee, kumkum, agarbatti. Miss Agarbatti here. So I was at the Vishnu temple by Bhimeshwar, and I was leading the chant, and the agarbatti there was so horrible. I told Anuj, put it out. Because it was like, there's articles how bad the agarbatti is and the cancer it causes. But we love the smell. And so our agarbatti, Shanti Hastakala, does not give that kind of strong punch in your nose, in your throat. It's a soft fragrance that builds over time. And it's a little expensive because it doesn't have the chemical. And I tell people it's only as good as the supplier. We don't know. We trust that the supplier supplies us the right things that he says he's supplying. He promises his guarantees. And so, of course, we all have to buy a product from somewhere. And we pray that manufacturers around the world, I won't just say in this country, around the world become aware that that product that they are making is killing people. When we were talking about candy, agarbatti and this and that, Bhaskar shared that his wife's aunt's son, which would be her cousin, right? 3 years old, I don't know if they contacted Raki, was being fed all of the thing Raki says not to eat. Kurkure. And whatever else that comes in a packet. And the child was only eating that. The child doesn't eat anything else. So the child doesn't eat anything. What do you feed him? You feed him that which he eats. What does he eat? He eats packet foods, packaged foods. So he got sick. When he went for a checkup, they found an abscess in the liver or enlarged liver, whatever it is. 3-year-old child. The mother is very upset, calls Shraddha and complains or shares, whatever, however it is. Because then we get calls. I don't know if Bhaskar got the call. We get a call. Can you do a puja to Divyeshwar and his liver pain is gone? Can you do a puja, Abhishek to Bhagwan and this problem is gone? I don't want to change my lifetime. I'm going to continue with the nonsense that I'm doing. But can you please pray to him and tell him, fix this person, fix this problem. But what about fixing myself first? And then it doesn't work. And they say, I don't believe in puja. I don't believe in Bhagwan. I don't believe in Guru. I don't believe in priest. because I continued with my nonsense. समझ रहे हैं ना आप सब? ये आपको भी लागू होता है. वही मूर्खता चलाओगे. मैंने नित्यानंदम मुक्तानंदम का बोर्ड बंद कर दिया. क्यों? वहाँ देवांश एक आदमी लिख रहा है, 10 आदमी खड़े होकर पंचायत कर रहे. पानी लेने जाते हो वहाँ भी पंचायत करते हो, पानी लेके आते हो वहाँ भी पंचायत करते हो. क्या क्या करें? बसंत पंचमी का सरस्वती स्तोत्र भी गड़बड़ा गया है. मैंने अभिषेक को बोलना रहा था, नहीं ठीक नहीं है, इसको निकालो. फिर बोला का मैं कहीं समझाऊँ, कितनों को समझाऊँ. आज हर्षित को भेजा मैंने ध्यान मंदिर में. पूरा बैठा कि नहीं पता नहीं, क्यों मैं तो चले गया. श्रद्धा रखा मैं कि हर्षित मेरी बात को मानेगा. कि 2 बैठे थे वहाँ, अंजलि आंटी भी बैठी थी. ओम नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्यो नमः परेभ्य परपादुकाभ्य. मैं बोला जरा ओम नमो गुरुभ्यो. मैं होता हूँ तो गा लेते हैं 2 मिनट, फिर देख लेते हैं. अच्छा चले गया, चला वापिस जैसे थे. पाप है पाप. पाप समझते हो आप लोग? अन्याय है. अभी आ रहे थे, मैं बुला रहा था. सर्वज्ञ भाई ने तो मुझे देखा ही नहीं. देखा था मुझे जब मैं हाथ कर रहा था. गति बिल्कुल क्षण भर की भी गति बढ़ी नहीं. चिदेश्वरी पूछी भी, आपको देख नहीं रहा है? बोला बराबर मैं दिख रहा हूँ, लेकिन उसकी जो धीटपना है ना, वो कैसे छोड़े. उसके पीछे भी 4 बड़े थे, उन्होंने भी नहीं गति बढ़ाई. क्योंकि आगे वाला जब नहीं बढ़ा रहा है तो पीछे वाला क्यों बढ़ाएगा. मैं सब समझता हूँ बच्चों, बढ़ो सभी को. सब कुछ मैं समझता हूँ, सब कुछ दिखता है. बहुत सारी बातें अनदेखा कर देता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप मार्ग छोड़कर न जाए. शारदा प्रभा करते हैं वो भी देखते हैं, कुशल करता है वो भी दिखता है, योगी नहीं करती है वो भी दिखती है, उनके माँ बाप करते हैं वो भी दिखता है, उनके साथी करते हैं वो भी दिखता है. इधर उधर जो भी करते हैं, जो मुझे देखते घूम जाते हैं ना. आज सुबह 3 ने ऐसे किया, मुझे देखा तो घूम गए. और मैं देख लिया, कौन था वो नहीं देखा, लेकिन देख लिया कि 3 5-6 फुट के बंदे मुझे देखते ही हो गए. ऐसे गुरु के साथ हम रहे भैया. कैसे थे पता है? उदाहरण मैं कई बार दे चुका हूँ. उसको बुलाओ. हाँ बस इतना ही बोलते थे. अभी उसको बुलाओ मतलब पूछो कि किसको बुलाओ. बोलेंगे मूर्ख साला जा. तो दूसरा बोलेंगे तू बुला के ला. अपना तो खत्म ना पत्ता. बोलते थे जाओ. बगीचे में भेजते थे सेवा करने. और पता नहीं बगीचे वाले को भी पता होता था कि इसको सबसे खराब सेवा देना है. मई मास में गोबर उठाओ, हाथी की टट्टी उठाओ, कूड़े की थट्टी उठाओ. मतलब गर्मी में यार, मई में 10-12 साल की उम्र. कभी एकदम पीछे दूर झाड़ू मारने भीतर जो कोई बंदा नहीं. अब लोग कैसे होते, कोई बंदे की जात नहीं, बंदर भी नहीं, बंदा भी नहीं. और उधर कभी एक दिन वो घूमते आते थे. अरे तू इधर झाड़ू क्या मारे अकेला. अभी उनको कैसे बोलो यार, तुमने ही तो भेजा था 5 दिन पहले कि जाओ सेवा मांगो. और आपका सेवादार ने भी ऐसी जगह सेवा दी यहाँ कोई नहीं है. आपने कैसे उसको संदेश भेजा? ना मोबाइल था, ना इंटरकॉम था, ना वॉकी टॉकी थी. कैसे उसको संदेश भेजा कि इस बंदे को ऐसी जगह भी सेवा दे यहाँ कोई नहीं है. फिर 5 दिन के बाद खुद आते, अरे बोले मेरे पास कोई है ही नहीं सेवा के लिए. और उस समय झाड़ू रख के भागो वो भी नहीं कर सकता हूँ, गंदा हूँ, धूल मिट्टी या जैसे भी हो, कब सेवा के कपड़े में. तो समझ जाने का कल सुबह नहा धोकर मेरे पास आना. वो नहीं इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं होता था. और उस समय छोड़कर चले गए तो फिर डांट पड़ती थी. और कल नहीं, झाड़ू यहीं छोड़ दिया, कूड़ा यहीं छोड़ दिया, ये कौन करेगा, मेरा बाप. ऐसा नहीं बोलते थे, लेकिन समझने की बात होती थी. तो ऐसे महापुरुष के पास हम बड़े हुए. आंख नाक, मुझे परसों डॉक्टर मनीष जी बोले क्या, एक किसी का आंख अच्छा होता है, किसी का नाक अच्छा होता है, किसी का कान अच्छा होता है, और 2 कौन से, जीवा पता है. हाँ, जीवा और त्वचा. वो पूरा भी नहीं हुआ. बोले डॉक्टर मनीष आपने तो सब कुछ अच्छा है. हाँ बोले राखी मैडम ने बोला आपका सब कुछ अच्छा है. बोले लेकिन सबका नहीं होता है ऐसा. मैं बोला मैं तो अपनी बात कर सकता, मैं अन्यों की क्या बात करूँ, जीवा भी बढ़िया है, राखी दीदी को उससे प्रॉब्लम है, बोलने भी अच्छा हूँ, उससे उनको प्रॉब्लम नहीं, वो स्वाद का एक प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन फिर भी काफ़ी अच्छा हूँ, मैं उनसे कहता हूँ मैं काफ़ी सुधर गया हूँ, फिर भी वो चाहते और सुधरे, लगा हुआ हूँ मैं, सुधर जाऊँगा, मृत्यु तक तो सुधर जाऊँगा। पारुल बहन बोली मैं तो बहुत अच्छी हूँ, मैं बोला मालूम है आपका गुणगान सुन लिया मैंने राखी बहन से, जो अच्छे हैं उनका गुणगान सुनता हूँ मैं, क्यों, वो प्रेरणा देना चाहती है, देखो ये कितने अच्छे हैं। अरे भैया मैं भी अच्छा हूँ, मेरे पास चॉकलेट 6 महीने से फ्रिज में पड़ी हुई है, हाथ नहीं लगाई, देखता हूँ, दर्शन करता हूँ, बांटता हूँ, लेकिन अच्छा है, पसंद का है तो वापस भी रख देता हूँ कभी कभी। कभी कोई बंदा आता है आपके पास है, मैं बोला देख आज मैंने 2 साबुन दे दिए, मैं बोले मेरे प्रिय साबुन है, लेकिन उन्होंने कल ऐसे कुछ बोला तो मुझे लगा देना चाहिए, मैं बोला प्रिय है लेकिन दे रहा हूँ, कहीं से लाया हूँ, जो मिला मुझे किसी ने दिया, जैसे भी हो। तो ये सब करते 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 आज यहाँ पहुँचा हूँ। आप लोगों से भी निवेदन करता हूँ कि करो, संघर्ष करो, पुरुषार्थ करो, मेहनत करो, थोड़ा पसीना बहाओ, थोड़ा दुख बहाओ, थोड़ा आंसू बहाओ, थोड़ा हंसो, और अपने आप में नायम आत्मा बलहीन न लभ्यो, ऐसे कठोपनिषद में आता रहता है। बलहीन होंगे ना तो कुछ नहीं होगा, तो इसके लिए बल बनाओ, अच्छा बनो। और वो समझ गए ना, बाबा मुक्तानंद जी ने बोला कि हम अपने संस्कृति संस्कार, हमारी अच्छी बातों को हम थूक देंगे या छोड़ देंगे, और उन लोग मतलब बाहर से आके लोग हमारे संस्कार संस्कृति को अपनाएंगे, और उन लोग जो बातों को छोड़ेंगे उसको हम अपनाएंगे। आप कैसे धोती उतारने के तत्पर होते हो, अभी भी याद दिलाना पड़ता है जब शाम को लुंगी में आते कि धोती पहनो ना यार, सुंदर लग। एक शांति मंदिर निम्बौली में एक लड़की है, जब मैं पहले दिन पूछा साड़ी में थी, मैंने उसको कहा तो साड़ी में सुंदर दिखती है, अगले जितने भी दिन मेरा रोज साड़ी में आई, मैंने कहा वाह। वैसे आप जब सुंदर बन के आते हो ना, देवता समान हो, विप्र देवता समान होता है, भूदेव, भूदेव बोलते हो आपको, यानी भू पर चलने वाले देव, लेकिन आप तो गधे बनकर आना चाहते हो, तो भू गधा बोलना पड़ेगा, कि देव तो बनना ही नहीं चाहते हो। लेकिन फिर अनुज ने मुझे कहा, बच्चे तो फिर भी समझ जाते हैं, माता पिता को कौन समझाए, मैंने कहा तो विवेक भाई भी बोलते हैं, माता पिता को कौन समझाए, कि माता पिता तो वो 90% वाले हैं ना, आप फिर भी थोड़ा 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 हमारे साथ रहते रहते थोड़ा सा ही कहूँगा मैं, ज़्यादा नहीं। क्या झाला पोंडे भाऊ, मतलब उसको कुछ हंसी आ गई उसके पड़ोसी के साथ। परसों पुलिस ऑफिसर मिले गणेशपुर के, शिखा था, मैंने कहा वाह क्या बात है साहब, शिखा ठेवला है, कई बार मुस्कुरा दिया उन्होंने। तो हम जो इन्होंने कहा ना, रामदास महाराज का अपने को ढूंढना पड़ेगा, अखंड सावधान, मतलब अपने अखंडता को बनाए रखने के लिए हमको सावधान होना पड़ेगा, सभी को सावधान होना पड़ेगा, और हमको दुश्चित नसावे, समझे आप लोग, चित्त जो है हमारा, मन जो है, हमारी जो भावनाएं है, इसमें किसी भी तरह की गलत बातें ना आए। इसके लिए जो मैंने लिखा था ना यहाँ, निर्दोषों को सुनो, समय पर उपस्थित हो जाओ, सामंजस्य, स्थिरता, समानता, एक रूपता, नवीनीकरण, नवाचार, कार्य कुशलता, दक्षता, निपुणता। अहंकार ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा विषय है, जो कई बच्चों ने बोला हमको पता ही नहीं अहंकार क्या है। ये आश्चर्य बात हो, इस पे भी कभी हम आपको चाहिए तो सैंपल भी खड़ा करेंगे, अहंकार वाले है मेरे पास, बड़े से लेके मध्य से लेके अंत तक मेरे पास सब सैंपल है आश्रम में। So for those of you who are in Ganeshpuri, Nimboli, you saw we wrote on the boat, which we have tried over the years to follow here. Listen to the instructions. For those of you who remember Mary Hamra from Mexico City, stole this line from her, listen to the instruction, which is the very number one because that's the first thing we don't do. Listen to the instruction. And for all of us all over the world, be on time. To arrive on time. And be consistent. And a uniformity. Innovation. A newness. And I always feel, and I always tell these children, puja is the same every single day. Guru Gita is the same every single day. Vishnu, but within that, how can I create a newness? That is a challenge for each and every one of us. And then, of course, efficiency, to be efficient, which is one of the biggest issues world over, I feel, today. To use my time efficiently, to use my energy efficiently, to be efficient in every which way. We have a traveler who came yesterday from Australia, from Bangalore, I think. And they all arrived here. The 3 women, the 2 drivers, and Mahesh, the therapist, to a meeting. So I thought the 3 women speak Australian English, and the 3 Indians don't speak any English, forget Australian English. For those of you from Australia, understand when I say Australian English. So anyway, so I sent Chideshwari, I said, find out what actually is the problem. You know, whether it's an ashram problem or what is it that happened. And then we found out that one of them forgot her bag at the airport. So I thought they have come from abroad, so they must have come from Mumbai. So we called somebody we knew from Mumbai, and as we were talking, we found out, no, Surat. So we quickly cut that phone call from Mumbai. Surat. So Surat, we said, okay, Krishna Desai. So I said, call and first ask him, where are you? Because he's sometimes in Mumbai, sometimes in Magod, sometimes in Surat. So he said, I'm in Surat. So we said, at home? He said, yes. Or near home. He said, yes. So I said, okay. Then Dinesh was there. Because I said to the lady, you want to speak? She said, they don't understand me. So I said, okay, they don't understand you. So I said, here, Dinesh. And Dinesh started speaking. I said, it's his cousin. They will handle the matter. And by 8 or 8:30, I think, I don't know, Dinesh, I knew Dinesh would be good because he would push Krishna that we need a solution. The lady had forgotten her backpack. First it was at the forex counter, then it was by the security, then it was blah, blah. Anyway, so Krishna went, and Dinesh and Krishna, Dinesh said we spent over an hour on the phone, and Krishna said, I found a very good CISF officer, I mean the security at the airport. I found a good Indigo officer. He said, I want that whenever you come to Surat Airport, they should meet you. I said, thank you. He said, because, they are good people. They are good people because they went and looked up the security camera, found the lady, found her backpack, where she left it. And then Tusharbai reminded us that 26th January, tomorrow, is full of security. Because the whole government, the whole of India is on alert, is aware. So he said they would have immediately picked it up. And so anyway, Krishna should be at the airport and should be here, depending on all the paperwork and protocol, with the bag. And so why I brought this up is because of efficiency. For all of us in India who think it's not efficient, if they choose, if they want, it's efficient. Within an hour, hour and a half. I think they must have left the airport at 3:30 because they were here at 5:30. And it just happened that I decided to walk from the dining hall kitchen that way because Chimanbai had told me to look at the neem tree where he's made a little, I don't know what's called in English. Huh? Ring. I mean, he had dug because we had told him to put some medicine. He said, I've only done half, the other half will be on the path, so I've not done the other half, so can you go and look? So I decided, okay, I'll go look, because I know when I meet him the next morning, he's going to ask me, did you see? And I'll say no, and he'll be hurt and upset that I did what you told me, and you couldn't even do this little thing. And I feel that that's one of the mistakes we as so-called executives make. Sometimes we look down upon our physical laborers and workers and think, I am important, I am more busy, I am, to him there's no, it is important for him too. That is what he does, that's what she does, that's you've ordered them that I want this done, he's done it. And so he's requesting you, take a few moments and go and look at it. So I was just walking casually, Dinesh, Satyaraj, myself, and so see these few people, and I was like, okay, English needs help. And then anyway. But again, why I say this is so many of us Some of us unnecessarily get involved. I don't ask you to get unnecessary law because I see that also. But when possible, when needed, even on the airplane, when you see a short woman or an elderly woman trying to put a bag up, I see some people sitting there watching. That's embarrassing. You can just quickly stand up, help them put the bag up. And then also remember, when the flight lands, you have to help them take it down too. Because the ego is so amazing that you think, why should I? I'm a Swamiji. I'm a CEO, CFO, executive, blah, blah, whatever. I'm busy. Busy doing what? We have a saying which says, Seva. बोलो जोर से. मैं यही चाहता था कि आपको आता है कि नहीं आता है. तो इधर गुरु जी लोग को तो आना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि वो सेवा ही कर रहे हैं ना आपका. कि नहीं? आप बोलोगे नौकरी कर, नौकरी कहाँ करते हैं? हमारे यहाँ तो नौकरी हो ही नहीं सकता. नौकरी होता तो 9 बजे आते थे, 9:30, जिससे आपके भारत के टीचर आते हैं 9, 9:30, 9:35. ये तो 5 बजे मेरे पास, 6 बजे मेरे पास, 6:30. बीमार हो गए तो थोड़ा इधर उधर. बाकी तो रात को कभी कभी 9 बजे फ़ोन कर देता हूँ, आ जाते. विकल्प वाले कह रहे कि विकल्प ही नहीं है. परसों हमारी रागी जी ने मुझे फोटो भेजा, सरिता का ना, सरिता. चलो, मैं सोचा था ठीक 12 बजे मैं अच्छा संपन्न कर दिया था. अच्छा मतलब विधिवत कर दिया था मैं. फिर हवा लग गई मेरी अपनी. हाँ चलो, सभी लोग अपना अपना जगह पे धूप दीप नैवेद्य करो. हाँ, और बाकी सब लोग चलो, सभी उठो, सभी चलो. आप लोग बैठो.